Good morning, or whatever time it is for you. I made disaster trousers and now I'm going to fix them. So you get to follow along. Today we're doing waist gape and fabric puddling under the bum. And we're going to be using darts and the trick of slightly lifting the rise of the back piece of your trousers. Now this project was a little challenging because of the thick compressive fabric, and I didn't want my waist and my tummy to be hurt, so I put a lining on. However, I didn't want it to gape like that, so we're going to put some darts in. I've actually put this pin on my body where it made the most sense for me to have a dart. That's a little bit different if you've got a protruding tummy. So I've just done it to the side of my tummy, and now I'm just going to sketch in a line that covers from the good side of the fabric across the waistband joint and into the lining, because I have to dart all of that out. So once I've got that, I am going to push that waistband joint that way, and I'm just going to pin in the dart. A dart is simply an angled row of stitching. It goes from a very narrow bit at the side, so I'm heading down to that very narrow bit there, and then you take a bite out as it comes out wider, and then because of this lining I have to mirror it and go back down to a point. So now that I've pinned that, I'm just going to sketch all of that in because I don't want pins in my sewing machine way, and I can take it and just do some straight stitching to get the dart in. That's going to give me a little bit of shaping for my waist. So I'm starting right on the edge, back stitch to start, and then make sure I've got my join pushed to the right way. Come out to the wider bit because you're taking your waist in, and then you've got to mirror that into the lining. So once you get to the top waist join right there, you'll start your trajectory back down on an angled line. And of course, once you get to the end of that dart, you'll have measured to make sure that they're exactly the same length, backstitch to end. And this is what it looks like. So just the bite taken out. Let's flip it over. Now, it's a little bit bulky at that join, so we'll do something about that. But that's what it will look like. Just a straight line of stitching. That's a dart, people. And on the reverse, because I've got lining, same thing. Now I'm going to do something about that bulk. I could cut it all away theoretically because jersey doesn't fray, but I'm just going to snip out the join line seam allowance. That's already feeling a lot better, but it still feels in flat. So I'm just going to snip a little bit more away. Will not compromise anything, and that should allow that to feel a lot flatter, a lot nicer. And this is it. That's the dart that you can see. So we start from there. We made sure that it starts exactly in the same place on the lining as well. Should mirror, and on both sides because I had two darts. Okay, so they have to be the same. You'll see that this now is a lot smaller than this part. Okay, that's the hip part. So we have successfully made it a little smaller. Now I'm going to go and rejoin it. So I've marked my quarter points on the waistband and also on the trousers. And if you'd like to see how I join a waistband to the trousers, you can check the video on the top right, but I won't bore you. I'm going to go straight ahead and do that, finishing it off now, and let's go see if that actually made a world of difference. Much nicer. Now there's still some gape in the forward bit. That's the dart, by the way. I'm not worried about the little bit of gape I got because I want my tummy to be comfortable, and if that touches my skin, my tummy will not be comfortable. In terms of a before and after, massive amount of difference. Darts can be your friends. What do you do when you've got wrinkles under the bum? So fabric just puddling and pooling a little bit under the backside, a little bit down the legs. Well, you lift the rise just a smidge. That is the back of my pants, and I've just elevated a little bit. I had to undo the waistband, and I'm going to reattach that waistband with the rise of the back side of the pants lifted. So let's have a look at what that does. Okay, this is me just fresh from the overlocker, walking around, and as you can see, it has taken out a lot of that pulling fabric. In terms of a before and after, it's really quite dramatic. You only want to lift that fractionally for a maximal result. Join me next time in part 3 of this disaster series, where I made a terrible mistake with my belt, but I'm going to avoid unpicking it by being creative. Enjoy your comfy life. See you then.